Yes, yes, people, what is going on? And welcome back to the YouTube channel. Hope you're all good. So, day 3 today of reversing calories back up. Still 2,500. As I said in the last video, I'll keep this consistent until I think it's time to make a change. Weight this morning 75.4. So we're just hovering. We're staying around where we were. At the lowest was yesterday 75.2. So we're just going to examine now over the next few days. Over this week, see what happens with body weight. If we need to make any adjustments to the latter part of the week, we will. So what I want to do is give you guys some tips throughout this video on how to cut back down, get to a body fat percentage, to a body composition that you're happy with, and then keep it off and maintain that. Just some tips, some tricks, some things that I implement that hopefully you guys can use as well. But further ado, let's jump into this YouTube video. So one thing that I do find when I reverse back out of a dieting phase is I get super hungry. So as soon as my food goes up, ghrelin is just like punching me in the face and I'm just like quite food focused. So tip number 1, eat whole foods. What do I mean by whole foods? I mean real food, single ingredient foods. So make sure you're getting plenty of veggies in, make sure you're eating plenty of protein. Protein is very good for satiety, which will keep you feeling fuller for longer. Eat things like potatoes, rice, real food. That is the first tip. So I'm gonna eat me oats, drink plenty of hydration, stay hydrated, and have plenty of fluid in. And I'll catch you back at tip 2.
Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. The things I'm going through and what they going through right now is like until I've been looking for. Until I've been looking for. Until I've been looking for. I'm looking for. Until I've been looking for. Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights.
So we are now back with tip number 2, and tip number 2 is very contradictory to tip number 1, but I do believe that you should implement, and there should be no demonizing of any certain food groups or anything like that. So let's call it a diet. If you're on a diet and you are trying to drop some body fat, you're trying to get to a goal, you need to be realistic with yourself and you need to add things in that you enjoy. So it may be you add in a chocolate bar. It may be that in the evening sometimes you like to have a glass of red wine. Maybe you like to have an alcoholic beverage, spiced rum, something like that with Diet Coke. You should never go into a dieting phase or never go into any kind of fat loss phase, whatever it is. You shouldn't go into it with being like, I can't have certain food groups, I can't have certain things. Because if you do like something, then you should be able to implement it. So implement it. Obviously, when I said with the first tip, I said eat whole real foods. For sure, do that for the majority of it to make sure that you feel full, you get all the correct micro and macro nutrients that you need. But there's got to be a percentage of them calories that come from the things that you enjoy. Whether that is having the chocolate bar, having whatever it could be for you. Like for me, in the evenings, I love a crumpet. I put peanut butter on it and I put some honey on it. I enjoy that. So I'm going to implement them things into my dieting phase, my main gaining phase as it is now. And also when I go into a push-up. But that's tip number 2, is just implement the things that you do enjoy. Never go into a phase thinking I can only have X, Y, and Z like food and meals, because it won't last, and you need this to last for the future. You need to be able to go into it with the mindset of, I could do this every day and it would be fine. So that is tip number 2. I will see you back with tip number 3. So we're now back with tip number 3. But before I give you tip number 3, it's currently Saturday. So I'll give you a little breakdown of what's happened since I gave you my last weight update. We're 74 kilos. We have dropped, I think the lowest we got to when I spoke to you last was 75.2, and I'm now 74. Food is still at 2,500, but we will be making adjustments this week, ready for next week, slight bump up again. So, little update. But anyway, back with tip number 3. Tip number 3 is drink 0 calorie drinks. Okay, it's not actually got 0 calories in, it's got 2 calories, basically 0. I recommend everyone just getting rid of drinking things like full fat Coke, high sugar drinks, putting sugar in their tea and their coffee. For me personally, I don't even have milk in anything. I just get rid of that too, because it's just consuming calories that I don't need to consume calories for. You'd be surprised how many extra calories throughout the day you will consume just by having a full fat Coke, putting that 1 or 2 teaspoons of sugar in your tea or coffee, that milk, that all adds up, and you'd be surprised by the end of the day how many more calories you have put into your daily calorie intake, really for no reason. So tip number 3, drink 0 calorie drinks, have things like black coffees. If you want another little caffeine drink, have things like Monster Energy, Rain, they're all 0 calories, they're fine, 1 a day, sounds. So that is tip number 3. We're off to the gym now. We have pushed today, but I will catch you back after. Tip 4, I think we'll be done then. 4 tips is plenty. 4 tips is plenty for you to get into the best shape of your life. So, see you in a sec. And here we have the 4th and final tip. And as you can see, that is prep your meals. For me on a Sunday, I'll meal prep all my food. I'll freeze the majority of the meals and I'll take them out the night before. If you're preparing your food, you know that you have that structure in place and you're less likely to fall off plan and basically mess up when you're out. Because if you was at work, you don't have to take any lunch with you, you're gonna have to go to the shop and get some food. The majority of food from the shops, if you're getting a quick pick up and go, aren't very macro friendly, so they're usually a lot higher in calories, they're usually higher in fats and carbs, there's not much protein in most of the meals. So if you prepare, you're less likely to fail. So that is the 4th and final tip. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you can take something away from this video. If you did, remember to smash the like button. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, and until next time, peace.